Hello, beautiful souls. 2 days ago, Mercury went retrograde. That slows everything down, allows us to review. And within that reviewing, what's come up and very strongly is reviewing our ability to surrender, especially with everything that's going on in the world at the moment. So without further ado, let's get into that. Hi, and welcome to Oaklaw Door. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claire Attio. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, interestingly, I never got much sleep last night. I was up to the witching hour, as it were, 3 o'clock. And then I rose again at 7. And in all that time, there was so much information coming in. The retrograde is such a wonderful time to review. And I found myself reviewing the past weeks, the past months, the past years, the past decades. And when I was thinking about doing this video, there was so much coming in, and it correlates to what's going on in the world at the moment. And I was like, right, okay, it's now time to share. And then I did my morning routine, my morning meditation, and just checked in with myself. And I checked in with myself because of a lesson that I learned a few weeks ago on my other collaborative channel, Synergy of the Rose. We actually recorded a video about a certain situation that is going on in the world and calling light workers to take a stand, to take an active participation in dispelling the darkness within that. And I was discussing it with my accountability group. And one of the girls, who is a magical light being, as soon as I actually said why we were actually doing it and what was going on, because it wasn't part of her journey, I could instantly feel her solar plexus do a and her vibrations drop. And that horrified me. That was a real lesson for me to understand that what are my pathways, what are on my spectrum, what is my work to undertake is not everybody's work. And I had to sit with that. I had to reflect on that, because in my desire to help, in my desire to bring greater light into the world, what I would have actually done had we aired that video is I would have inadvertently played into the hands of the darker aspects, because she would have not been the only one that had that reaction. And that came onto my spectrum this morning with the whole retrograde energies and reviewing. And it reminded me, because in that moment when I sat in it a few weeks ago, when I sat in that energy, when I introspected on what was actually going on there, I had to take responsibility that in my desire to bring greater light to the world, what I had actually done is I'd come out of the heart space, I'd gone into the head space. And it was coming from a place of ego. It wasn't coming from a place of selfish, egoic, I want to be the star of the show type energies. It was coming from a heart foundation, but it wasn't embroiled in the heart. It had gone to the ego. It had gone to the mind. And this is what this video is about: the learning to completely surrender. And as I was talking with the spirit and listening to what they had to say and listening to what they wanted me to say, they kept giving me the John Lennon song "Let It Be," and yeah, we all know it, we've all hummed it, especially, you know, in fact, I think all generations, even my daughter knows it. But I had to go back and I had to look at the lyrics, and so I'm going to read them to you because it's really very poignant. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she's standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And then it goes to the chorus, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When all the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. When I actually read the words, rather than be singing along to a jolly song that we all kind of grew up with, it hit me the depth of them. It hit me the deep understanding and the deep connection he had to divine, and the channeling that must have been going on through him, because this is not just a one-off song. And that creativity, we know that it's through creativity that we speak with divine, we get the messages from divine. It's when we allow ourselves to be in the vibrations of joy, happiness, and doing the things that we love, the things that we are passionate about, those messages channel through us, all of us, whether we understand it, whether we accept it, whether we agree with it. Those energies, those messages channel through all of us. We have the capacity as a race, humanity has the capacity to bring heaven to earth. But what we generally do, and I'm still guilty of it, I'm really working very hard to break the habits and the cycles of since my soul life started of just allowing, surrendering. The key factor of this video is to, as the coming years unfold, and there is going to be a lot going on, and there is going to be a lot of fear brought into our realities, should we choose to focus on it. And it's going to be hard not to, because we're going to be bombarded with it. We're going to have a repeat of 2020, but upscaled. I'm not going to say, oh, this is going to happen and that is going to happen. I have been shown many things, but when, and any tarot reader, anybody who connects to the divine, when you are a seer, will tell you what we see is only correct in that millisecond. We still have free will. Things can still change, and we change our vibrations. And so to actually say, oh, this is going to happen and that is going to happen, when it's not high vibrational situations, is only going to serve to bring the collective energies down. And so this is what we want to avoid. And this is why we have to be that knot within the net of the collective. We have to focus just on our knot, just on our sovereignty, knowing that we are all connected, but using our energy, our connection to stand firm on solid ground of who we are, what is right for us. Bringing that light down, raising our vibrations. And when we have a surplus, when we have an overflow, when our cup is full and we are just drawing down and it's spilling out, that light, that love can spill out, and we can direct it. We can direct that energy to situations, but let's direct it from a place of love. Let's direct it with the intention that the divine will orchestrate what is needed in that given situation. And this takes me back to where I was a couple of weeks ago, where I was calling light workers to undertake a certain activity to help bring light to a situation. And then when that beautiful light being's vibrations dropped, and they dropped instantly, I felt it. I had to sit with myself. I had to review. I had to be introspective. I had to understand what was going on and what was going on within me, and realize that I had egoically taken the divine out of the equation. I had used my mind to try and find a solution to a horrific situation that is happening on the planet, rather than trusting that the divine knows what it's doing. Now, that is not to say we sit here and do nothing. If you get the call to take action, take the action. If you get the call to disseminate information, disseminate the information. If you get the call to set up a prayer circle, set up a prayer circle. But before you take any of those actions from that call, just double check in with your heart space, with your higher self, with divine, that is an aligned action that the divine is calling you to do, and that it's not come from the ego. The mind is an absolutely magnificent and very, very clever, covert, deceptive machine. And we have to be aware of that. That's where raising our consciousness comes into play. Taking the time to really look at every aspect that is going on, pulling back the layers. And then being comfortable with surrendering when it's not yet the time to disseminate that information. When that's something that needs to be put in your journal, that's something that needs to be held in your heart to start permeating, to start growing. Because if you've got those messages, they will have importance. But we need to learn to stop, breathe, surrender ourselves, to actually attune ourselves to the divine timing that is needed. I hope that makes sense. I hope it's been of help to you. If you're wanting to learn and have more tools in your toolbox to be able to continue stepping forward on this spiritual path with greater fluidity, then I am running a course at the end of October, a 6-week course. I will put the details in the description box below. If you have liked, please press that like button, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.